ARA History Untold has 2 tumultuous weeks behind it, and it is time to have a look at the past, present, and future of the game and what is going on. So let's talk about the past very quickly. When ARA came out, I thought that it was in a decent spot, right? Like, yes, there were issues with the game, things people wanted to change, added, and so on and so forth. And so far, the developers have been doing a fantastic job to exactly deliver on that. So I'm pretty happy with that. But you know what I'm not happy or was not happy with, and hopefully is now changing, is Xbox. Xbox has been doing a pretty decent job to promote the game till the official release. And then around the launch time, they also were supporting streamers, content creators, and was trying to promote the game for about a week. And then the game more or less disappeared, and they didn't really care about it anymore. This is unfortunately pretty much on par with what I'm used to working with Xbox. Like, keep in mind, I have been working very closely over a decade now with that company sometimes. And yeah, this is pretty fitting to what they normally do. It seems like Xbox is always only thinking about till the next release. And then when the release happened, it's like, wait, we released the game? When? How? What was it? Right? And the same kind of happened with ARA, which made me really angry when Civilization 7 came out. When Civilization 7 came out, it was clear that there was a window of opportunity for ARA to just showcase to the people out there, hey, look, there is a Civ-esque game which is having a lot of ideas taken from Civ 5, Civ 6, and then putting their own spin on it. Why not check it out? And Xbox did exactly nothing. Nothing. Not even like a sell. We finally got a sell, I think a week ago or two, where they cut the price from 60 to $40, finally. And it was more like a, hey, I guess the game is on sale, but also check it out on Game Pass. So it's this, man, you had this golden opportunity where you could have really been like in the face and promote ARA even more. And we got nothing. They have completely lost that opportunity. And the good news is, and this brings us more or less to the present, is that Stardock is now taking over in that regard. And I'm just so happy about that. Like, look, do we know what the future brings with Stardock? No, of course not. You never do. But just looking at their track record, right, Stardock has been pretty awesome with all of their titles. They're still updating titles, even though they have already like a newer version out of it, right? Like Galactic Civilization is still getting updates, even though there is already the 4 out. And like they are definitely caring for their titles, and they want to make sure that it gets DLCs, that it gets patches, and that it gets the opportunity to shine. Will it work for ARA? Well, that is something we have to see, right? But it is definitely much better with what we had. Because again, for Xbox, that game was out. It exists, and they don't really care for anything more. And so for me, just seeing Starter coming in and taking over is such a fresh air for this game that I'm really just hoping that they're pushing it into a direction to really find its audience and find the people who were disappointed by Civilization 7 and who know that Civ 7 will take so much time to hopefully get to the point where it feels just right, that they're looking for something else. I can now see it with even in my friend circle. We talked about this recently. They were all like, man, I want a turn-based Civ game, but just looking at Civ 7, that's nah, man. This is not what I want. And thankfully, I could always say, well, have you heard about ARA History Untold? And then a lot of people are looking at the price tag and they're like, oh, it's also a $60 game. Okay. Um, they want to check this out first. And so there is definitely, I would say, quite a bit of opportunity to be had with the game, and I hope with Stardock it gets better. And also, the game is now at its best point. Like patch 1.3, and I know, yes, patch 1.4 is on its way, and we will talk about that in a second. But patch 1.3 is already really, really good. They added so many things people wanted. You can upgrade your units now. You can bring back the units back to the unit pool. And you can even automate now a lot of the micromanagement in the game. Like, let me just give you an example here. Thanks to policies, you can now say, okay, whenever I'm building a farm, make it so that when the farm is finished, you automatically put a plow into every farm, as long as we have plows, of course, in the inventory. And then the game is doing that automatically, and you don't have to do that anymore. You can do that with nearly every building and everywhere where you can basically put upgrades into a building, and that automates the whole process. A lot of people felt like this is too micromanagement, right? Too much micromanagement here, and I want to automate the whole process. Like, there are now so many interface upgrades people wanted, and even more is coming with patch 1.4. If you go through the actual patch notes, not just a small announcement they had on the Steam page, but you go through the whole change list, it's an enormous patch. It's crazy how much they change and how much they're also adding. And I'm really looking forward, especially to the AI changes. I think that is one of the biggest issues the game has right now. I've been returning to ARA just a few days ago, and I have been starting my first multiplayer game with a buddy of mine. And man, the AI is still doing the same BS they have always been doing, right? With here's my capital city. Oh, by the way, I did build 3 cities around my capital city, and you were just like, huh? But you just hindered the growth of your capital because of that, and of course of the 3 other cities. Why are you doing this, right? Which apparently they want to tackle with 1.4 and then even work more on that. And yeah, I'm just really happy that they are now tackling the issues they haven't fixed yet. And but with that said, ARA is in its best state. So this is a good thing. If people are thinking about should I jump in now or should I wait, I would say, yeah, jump in now. It's good. And then, of course, there is the big thing on the horizon. No, I'm not talking about the DLC, which is also coming with 1.4. We have to see how that goes. I'm curious about it. This will be the first paid DLC for the game, so I'm definitely excited to see what it has to offer. And no, what I'm talking about is patch 2.0. 2.0, if you don't know it, is supposed to release around the 1 year anniversary of ARA, give or take, because like patch development sometimes takes a little bit longer. And already sounds like not like a rework of the game, but another huge commitment to get this game in the right direction. And I'm really curious what they are doing, because there are still some underlining issues which I still think persist. Like, one of the biggest selling points of this game is also at the same time one of the biggest issues, and I want to make another video about this. And those are the amenities, or the items you can produce, right? When the game came out, there was definitely room for more items, which could kind of fill the slot between like some other items and some other like research points in the game. But now we have reached a point that they have added more and more items and more amenities that you kind of feel like, okay, how much of those do you still want to put into the game? And at which point does it just become too much, right? At which point is this just, oh yeah, we have items just for the sake of it? They don't really add anything. They are basically just replacing the items we already had in the game, and it's just to say that we have 700 items in our game. Of course, we are not even close at that number, but just making that up. But you know what I mean, right? Like this whole thing of like, oh yeah, we have so many items in our game and it doesn't really add anything, right? We don't need that. And this is definitely a complicated balance act. I'm really curious to see how they handle that. And the same goes with the immunity system. Like every big patch, it's kind of curious to see how they are trying to balance the immunity system, and it always feels like they still haven't fully figured out what they want to do with it. And if you might remember that, I know it has been quite a while, but when ARA came out, I did float the idea that the immunity system basically needs a complete rework or might even disappear at some point. I know that sounds crazy, but the more patches we get, the more it shows like, yeah, it seems like the developers are still not quite happy where it is and don't really know how to balance it right. Because if they are not balancing it right, the buffs you are getting are too powerful, or if they are overdoing it, the debuffs are too devastating, right? So we have to see what they are doing with it. But there is definitely still enough room for this game to go places. And now they are slowly adding unique units to the game for every race, and so on and so forth. So I'm really really excited for the future of ARA History Untold, which means we will definitely do some more videos in the future. Like, yeah, we will follow ARA a little bit closer, especially because for me, the big turn-based game of 2025 for me was Civ 7, and well, here we are. Um, of course, there are other strategy games. I've always said that. The Mole Under Management channel is a strategy game channel, and I'm checking the games out I want to try, right? I feel like comfortable with, and that hasn't changed. There are still tons of other strategy games coming out, and of course, there will be other videos like the Anno video coming tomorrow. Yeah. But with that said, we are at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. Also, let me know down below in the comments what you think about the future of ARA History Untold. And now that Stardock is in. And if you're also new to the channel, you want to see more ARA videos, and of course more strategy game videos, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are also doing live streams here of new games and all that. So if you're curious about that, I would appreciate it. With that said, have a good one. Stay safe. Bye bye.